Like if this thing lasts another month, 2 months, 3 months, I don't know how things are gonna progress. But I do know what I'm doing now is all about growth. So if this thing takes 2 months, guess what? I have 2 months more to put out content and build libraries. I have unlimited amounts of time to keep producing, to keep building, and that's something all of us can be doing right now. Make a choice. Be a champion. One of the hardest things that I've noticed to do while we're in this crazy time is just to keep some type of normal routine. You know, there's a lot of us that are used to getting up at 7 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning. We go to work, we're at our jobs for an extended period of time, and then we go home, and then it's already evening time, and then you have your evening routines. But now that we're all in this quarantine time where, so many people aren't working. So many people are already on unemployment. So many people are already starting to lose hope in ways that they're going to be able to rebound and rebuild from this. That I wanted to give some tips and some tools that have helped me that I know that can also help you as well. Is that even though we are in this very, very stressful time, it doesn't mean that we have to break our routines. If you're used to getting up at 7 o'clock in the morning, get up at 7 o'clock in the morning. Don't let your habits change. Don't start waking up at 2 o'clock because just you have nothing to do. No, get up at 7. Start just doing the same stuff you'd be doing. Fill your day with things that are going to keep you motivated and keep you driven. Maybe this is the time to start working on that book that you want to work on. Maybe it's that time to start building that project that you wanted to start building. Maybe it's that time that you want to start learning something new. Let's use this time to really be productive. We can either look at this and do the woe is me and start crying about how everything's falling apart, or we can really use this time to define ourselves, to allow ourselves to grow like we have never grown before. Like, I'm gonna give you an example. Myself, I spent the first week of this thing just completely non-productive. I was like, okay, all my projects are shot, my grappling programs are shot, my tournaments are shot, my competition training's shot, my fights are shot, all my things that I'm building are on the back burner now, so I might as well just do nothing. And that's the complete wrong mentality. That's the defeatist mind. That's where our mind already goes, you know what, I'm just giving up. And the real answer, I realized after about a week of this, it was like, dude, get your ass up and make something fucking happen. And that's what I started doing then. I got back on my books, I got back on my planners, I got back on my projects, and I started really getting into my groove again. And now I started developing my process again. I started getting into new programs. I started building things that I've been wanting to work on for a long time. And I think all of us can do that. To give you an example, like today, I woke up, I got my day going, I have my coffee like I always do. I started working in my planners. Today's Friday. So when I'm on my Friday, what do? I take my planner and I start reviewing my week. Okay, what did I not get done? If you guys look at my book, you could see all the highlights of things that are already done. So now I gotta go back and I need to make sure that I'm working on things to cross off the other highlights, right? So then I'm gonna take all this stuff, okay, what do I have to get done today so I can make sure that I get this stuff going on to my daily planner. I take my daily planner and I write in my daily planner everything that I need to do. That way, so when I finally start sitting on my computer, okay, I'm like, okay, what projects do I have to get done? I've looked at my books, I've looked at my planner, and now I can start being productive. So just to give you guys a look, like things that I'm doing while we're in this crazy time. I took this opportunity to learn how to do YouTube stuff now. I've always relied on other people. Every time I have video posting, and I've taken tutorials from classes that I do, I give them to other people to put them up. Now I figure, you know what? I might as well use this opportunity to learn this stuff. Instead of being reliant on other people, let me learn it. So now I'm in here. I've been teaching myself how to design the back end of our YouTube channel. I'm now releasing daily content, not just on the podcast, but also for my my academy, my training systems. So we're releasing training tips on how to box. We're releasing training tips on jiu-jitsu, and even on the podcast, if you've noticed on the streaming platforms, is that we've had a ton of new content because I'm just putting things out there. There's no reason why, if I have all this time that I shouldn't be producing content. And that's the same thing for all of us. We have a lot of downtime now. So it doesn't mean that downtime needs to be sitting here watching TV, vegging out, and losing motivation. No, it's the exact opposite. We should be using this downtime to get on fire, to build those things that are gonna make us move forward. So like now, all of a sudden I started getting into this YouTube stuff, and now I got a whole new idea. My creativity is just on fire. So now I'm designing. So I take my videos from YouTube and we shoot the technique. I'll take a still image from the technique and I build the artwork for the YouTube cover art. I do that in Photoshop, I do that in Illustrator, and then I'll also do the artwork for swiping. So that way when we go to the podcast and you go to our Instagram, you can go right to my page and I can do the promotion for the page, swipe right up, go straight to the episode. And these are all things that I had done in the past, but it had also been rushed. And I'd also pushed on things to other people to delegate. You know, one of the things I learned from a very early stage is delegate, delegate, delegate. But when you're at a time like now, it's not about delegation, it's about perfecting and learning. And so that's what I'm doing now. Everything that I'm doing now is about defining and building and learning. And I'm on this stage now where I'm more obsessed with learning right this moment than I have been probably my entire career. The systems that I'm developing, the fine details that I'm able to pay attention to, and just able to see the path for what comes after this. Like if this thing lasts another month, 2 months, 3 months, I don't know how things are gonna progress. But I do know what I'm doing now is all about growth. So if this thing takes 2 months, guess what? I have 2 months more to put out content and build libraries. I have unlimited amounts of time to keep producing, to keep building, and that's something all of us can be doing right now. It doesn't mean that we need to be sitting here and crying and worrying about everything. Yes, it's a tough time, but like I talk about all the time, that this is the fight. We have to pivot, we have to make adjustments, we have to make shit happen. We can't sit here and wait for other people to do it for us. I know we're waiting on these stimulus packages for the economy to be able to give us those checks, but those checks aren't gonna change your life. The only person that can change your life is you. I have to do the work for myself just like you're gonna have to do the work for yourself. You have a family, you have friends, you have to be motivated so they can be motivated. We're gonna get through this stuff, but you gotta start your day on fire. You gotta go to bed on fire. Just because the economy's falling apart doesn't mean that you can't find an opportunity in that. In fact, it's the exact opposite. If you could thrive now, while everything is falling apart, if you could find ways to keep growing now, imagine what it's gonna look like when this thing is all over with. You are gonna be at the one at the top. You're gonna be able to be the one that's gonna be the trendsetter because you were able to last during the hard times. So if anything came out of this talk today, is that when you start your day, get up and remind yourself that you have to be motivated, that you have to set your plan, you have to set the actions, and then you have to take the actions. Start by being in your planner. Start by writing things down. Eat healthy. Don't get lazy with your food. Make sure you're staying active. Keep your fitness going. Just because you can't go into the gym doesn't mean you can't go for a walk, go for a run. All those routines are mandatory for you to keep the mind strong. If you keep the mind strong through times like this, you're gonna come out on the other end on a positive note. Hey guys, if you like this episode, follow the podcast and subscribe to our YouTube channel.